Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, Falcons fans. I hope you're sitting down because what I'm about to tell you is something that could really shake up the NFC South and honestly, the entire landscape of the NFC for the upcoming season. The offseason is always a time full of surprises, and this year is no different. We've seen some interesting moves, some strategic signings, and some rumors swirling around that could hint at a much more aggressive Atlanta Falcons team in 2024. But what's really catching everyone's attention right now is the potential for some blockbuster moves in free agency, especially when it comes to wide receiver talent and defensive reinforcements. Let's start with the wide receiver position because, honestly, this has been one of the most discussed topics among Falcons fans and analysts alike. The team has a core of talented pass catchers, no doubt. Drake London is ascending, showing flashes of becoming a true WR1, but beyond him, the options are a little thin and inconsistent. Kyle Pitts, while being one of the most athletic tight ends in the league, has yet to become the reliable, every-down target that Atlanta envisioned when they drafted him. So, the question on everyone's mind is, how do the Falcons bolster this group? How do they make that leap from a decent passing attack to a truly dangerous one that defenses fear? Well, there's been some buzz around the possibility of adding a veteran like Keenan Allen. Yes, you heard that right. Keenan Allen, the seasoned, highly productive wide receiver who last played for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Allen is 33 years old, and last season with the Chicago Bears, he didn't quite put up the numbers we're used to seeing from him in his prime. But there are some mitigating factors that make this a compelling potential move for Atlanta. For starters, Allen's production in recent seasons with the Chargers was nothing short of elite. In his final year with Los Angeles, he racked up over 100 catches for more than 200 yards and 6 touchdowns, showcasing that he still has plenty left in the tank. Last season, with the Bears, he caught 70 passes for around 744 yards and scored 7 touchdowns, which isn't bad considering the circumstances. And Bears' offense struggling to find its rhythm, a line that was among the worst in the NFL, and a quarterback situation that was far from stable. You see, Allen's decline was not necessarily a sign of his talent fading, but more about the context in which he played. His skills as a route runner, his ability to create separation, and his experience in clutch moments remain top tier. Bringing him into Atlanta could give Michael Penix Jr. and Drake London a reliable, seasoned target, someone who can be a safety valve, a chain mover, and a red zone threat. Of course, signing a player like Allen isn't just about his talent. It's also about cap space, and that's where things get tricky. Allen's salary last year was a hefty $23 million cap hit, which is a significant investment for any team, especially one with a limited salary cap situation like Atlanta, which currently has around $1 million in cap space, ranked near the bottom of the league according to Spotrac. That means, if the Falcons want to make a move for Allen, they'd have to get creative, perhaps restructuring contracts, releasing some veterans, or finding other ways to free up cap room. But would it be worth it? For a player of Allen's caliber, with his ability to immediately upgrade the passing game, many believe it could be. And let's not forget, the Falcons have been building a team that's athletic, fast, and versatile, things that align well with a veteran receiver like Allen. He's not just a deep threat, he's a precise route runner, a guy who can make tough catches in traffic, and who can be a leader in the locker room. Plus, his experience and football IQ could help accelerate the development of the younger receivers, especially Drake London and others who are still trying to find their rhythm. But Allen isn't the only veteran receiver who's been linked to Atlanta. Darnell Mooney, for example, came over from the Bears last season and responded with a career-high 992 yards and 5 touchdowns, surpassing his totals from his first 2 seasons in Chicago combined. Mooney has shown he can be a dependable target, and at just 26 years old, he's still in that prime age window. He's been underrated by many experts, and fans should pay attention because he could be a key piece in the Falcons' offense moving forward. Adding Mooney was a smart move by Atlanta, especially considering their need for speed and playmaking ability on the outside. Mooney's quickness and ability to stretch the field give defenses something to think about, and he's shown a knack for making tough catches in traffic. Combine that with Kyle Pitts' potential and the development of London, and suddenly, Atlanta's passing game looks a lot more dangerous. But of course, adding veteran receivers isn't just about signing players, it's also about managing the cap and roster flexibility. As I mentioned earlier, the Falcons face some hurdles in this regard, especially with their current cap situation. They could clear space by restructuring contracts or releasing some veterans, but it's a delicate balancing act. The goal is to bring in talent without hampering their future flexibility. It's a strategic puzzle, and GM Terry Fontenot is known for being creative in these situations. Now, shifting gears slightly, let's talk about the defensive side of the ball because, honestly, that's where some of the most exciting potential moves could happen. The Falcons have a solid core on defense, with players like David Onyemata up front, a disruptive force who can anchor their defensive line. But outside of him, the depth and talent level are somewhat uncertain, especially when it comes to the interior defensive line. The team could definitely use some more beef and pass-rushing presence there, and that's why some fans and analysts are watching the veteran market closely. Interestingly, some of the top free agents on the defensive line are still unsigned, and if the Falcons want to get creative, they could target a seasoned veteran who can provide leadership and stability. However, the reality is that the market for interior linemen is looking pretty dry this offseason, which might force Atlanta to look elsewhere or rely more heavily on their draft picks to fill those gaps. When it comes to the secondary, things are a bit more settled, but the safety position could also see some movement. Former Falcons safety Justin Simmons, for instance, has been mentioned in trade rumors and free agency discussions. Simmons, who signed with Atlanta last August after an injury to DeMarco Helms, had a decent season, but didn't quite reach the heights of his Denver Broncos days, when he made 3 straight Pro Bowls from 2021 to 2023. Still, he's a smart, versatile safety with leadership qualities, and there's speculation that he could be a good fit for a team like Minnesota, especially with Harrison Smith aging and possibly reducing his workload. Simmons's experience and football IQ could make him a valuable addition for a team looking to bolster their secondary. But for Atlanta, the question remains, do they want to invest in a veteran safety at this stage, or do they prefer to develop younger players and stick to their draft strategy? It's a tough call, but one that could have significant implications for their defensive identity in 2024. And speaking of defense, let's not forget about the pass rush. The Falcons did a decent job last season, but they could definitely use more consistent pressure on the quarterback. Outside linebackers and edge rushers are always in demand, and while the market is a bit thin on high-priced veterans this year, there could be some sneaky good signings or trades that help Atlanta get that extra push to disrupt opposing offenses. Now, looking at the bigger picture, the Falcons have been building a team with a lot of potential. Their offense is promising, especially with the development of young receivers and the emergence of Bijan Robinson, who, by the way, had a fantastic rookie season and looks like a franchise back for years to come. The defense, while not perfect, has enough talent to be competitive, especially if they make a few strategic moves in free agency and the draft. But what makes this offseason so intriguing is the broader context of the NFC South. The division is wide open, with teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, and New Orleans Saints all in various stages of rebuild or retooling. The Buccaneers, for example, are in a transition phase with a new quarterback, while the Saints are trying to find consistency under Derek Carr. The Panthers are in the early stages of rebuilding with Bryce Young as their new quarterback, and the Saints are trying to regain their defensive dominance. So the Falcons have a real shot here to climb the division ladder if they play their cards right. And the NFC as a whole, it's wide open. The Eagles, 49ers, and Cowboys look formidable, but surprises happen every year. If Atlanta can add key pieces on offense and tighten up their defense, they could be dark horses in the NFC playoff picture. Remember, this team has a strong foundation, a solid coaching staff led by Arthur Smith, and a lot of young talent that's just waiting for the right pieces to fall into place. Now, I know a lot of you Falcons fans are itching to see what moves will actually happen. Will they go after a veteran receiver like Keenan Allen? Will they try to upgrade their defensive line? Or maybe they'll make a trade that nobody is expecting. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory for Atlanta. The team is at a crossroads, with a chance to elevate themselves from a decent team to genuine contenders, and it's all about the strategic moves they make now. So, stay tuned, because I'll be tracking every signing, every rumor, and every move in the coming weeks. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the updates. This season could be a turning point for the Falcons, and I want you all to be part of this journey. The NFC South is about to get interesting, and Atlanta has a real shot at making some serious noise. Are you ready for this? Because I certainly am. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. Do you think they should go all in for a veteran receiver, or maybe focus more on building through the draft? Do you believe in this team's potential to make a playoff run? Whatever you think, I want to hear it. Your voice is what makes this community special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!